On today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, could the Bears sign Shaquille Leonard and reunite him with Matt Eberflus? He was shockingly released by the Colts on Tuesday. We'll talk about that coming up in a few moments. But first, I have a challenge for all of you. Can we get to 80,000 subscribers here on the channel before Monday Night Football kicks off against the Minnesota Vikings? We're only 202 subs away from the big 80K. Can we do it? Free content on the daily here on Bears Now, including on Thanksgiving Day. If you want to join the channel, if you want to be the 80,000th subscriber, hit that sub button. I'm Harrison Graham. The holidays are upon us, which means it is a perfect time to get some holiday presents for your loved ones. How about True Classic? Awesome, comfortable, clean clothing for up to 60% off all month long with their Black Friday month of November sale. Go to trueclassic.com/chatsports. Check out what they got to offer today. Okay, signing Shaq Leonard. Who saw this one coming, huh? The Colts waived the three-time All-Pro on Tuesday. He is subject to waivers today, so we'll talk about that aspect of it in just a moment, see whether or not if he's going to get claimed by a team like maybe the Bears. Let's talk about what Leonard's exit looks like first, though. He tweeted this out, kind of one of those graphic you see the social media teams do. This was part of the statement. He said, "Indy, I want to thank you for accepting me and my family with open arms. These past 6 years have been nothing but incredible. The good times and bad times, y'all stood by my side." He ended it with this: "I love you guys and wish the Colts nothing but the best." I literally thought he retired. I saw his tweet and I was like, did Shaq Leonard just retired? And then a few minutes later, we all got the reports. He's been released. He's been waived. And he is subject to waivers, which means a team can claim him. And on that topic of it, Jeremy Fowler did tweet out that Leonard appears set to clear waivers and become a free agent, can help a contending team. And you're probably sitting there, wait, why would he clear waivers? Why would a team not pick up his contract? Well, he's been hurt the last 2 years, and his contract is big. I mean, a team picking him up just for the final stretch of this season still would owe him over $6 million. That's prorated down from his season-long contract. And then you owe him $16.1 million next year, $19 the year after that, almost $20 million the year after that. I don't think he's getting claimed. I wouldn't completely rule it out. If there's a contender that feels like a Shaq Leonard could get them over the top, maybe a team would do it, but I would be shocked. I would be insanely shocked if the Bears did it with a 3-8 record and having to keep their finances in line for the future and already having a pretty full linebacker room. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but I don't think he's going to get claimed. The last couple of years, which we'll outline shortly, have not been good for Shaq Leonard, so I think he will hit free agency, and then it'll be very interested to see if a team is interested in signing him, including the Bears at that point, because maybe, just maybe, if they could get him for cheap, there would be a possibility there. I want you guys to get your votes in, though. Should the Bears sign Shaq Leonard? Type S for sign, P for pass. I'm not even going to give claim as an option because claiming that contract would be moronic by Ryan Poles. S for sign, P for pass. Let me know what you guys think. Something to remember, Matt Eberflus loves Shaq Leonard. He has mentioned his name multiple times since taking this job as someone he's loved to coach, loved developing in Indianapolis. They have a very tight relationship. When the Bears went to Indy for their training camp joint practices, social media team, when Flus was walking up, he kind of walked close to the camera and said, "Love you, Shaq," sending a message to him and the Colts. Like, he loved Shaq Leonard. Like, it's one of the favorite players he's ever coached since being a coach in the NFL. But the reality is Shaq Leonard is not the Shaq Leonard that Matt Eberflus once knew. His first 4 years, which were all with Matt Eberflus, he was a 3-time All-Pro. Was a tackling machine, TFL, sacks, forced fumbles, picks. He also had 30 pass breakups, which isn't even on the screen. And the last 2 years, largely due to injuries, have just not gone his way. He's only been able to play in 12 games, and this year, as amazing as it seems, he kind of got phased out of that defense. He was a rotation player at most. He went public a few weeks ago, upset about his playing time, and I think he and the Colts came together and just said, "Look, man, like, I think a clean divorce is probably what's best." And which is why you led to, you see the statements from Leonard, from Jim Irsay, etc. He had back surgery a couple of years ago. He wasn't the same looking player since then. He still hasn't been. He's dealt with some other injuries as well. He just doesn't look like the same guy, despite only being 28 years old. And for the Bears' standpoint, like, you've already paid too much money for the linebacker position, right? Which is why, A, there's no chance you claim him, and B, even if he's super cheap, like, where does Shaq Leonard fit in here? Are you going to bench TJ Edwards, the position Shaq Leonard plays, when Edwards leads the NFL in tackles? You're going to try and force Darius Shaq Leonard to play middle linebacker over Tremaine Edmonds, even though you gave him $72 million, which was a mistake, by the way, but still, you did it. Jack Sanborn's playing well. Like, there's just no scenario. Like, this can't just be Matt Eberflus loves him, so I just don't think there's any way. I have a couple final thoughts on this in just a moment when it comes to Shaq Leonard and the possibility in Chicago, which I think is a long shot. But first, appreciate True Classic for sponsoring today's show. The holidays are here, and look, don't wait till the last second to do some Christmas shopping. Get ahead of it right now. Their November Black Friday sale is all month long at True Classic. T-shirts, polos, pullovers, sweatshirts, joggers. They've also got chinos and very comfortable jeans, and up to 60% off right now. Okay, let's talk about these T-shirts for a second. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're amazing. They completely re-engineered how T-shirts fit. They're tighter around the arms, the chest, and shoulder, but have a looser fit in the torso. Their fabric is ultra soft and makes me for a comfortable base layer on chilly days. And speaking of chilly, I love the pullovers they have now as well, and they're just very classic. Like, what I appreciate about True Classic, it's in the name for one, is they don't try to be anything crazy. Like, a lot of these clothes and clothing designs these days, there's all these different colors, there's spatter and all this stuff. How about just the classic gray, the navy, the black? You got the white strings there on the hoodies. I love it. Get up to 60% off right now with True Classic, trueclassic.com/chatsports. You can also buy in bulk, which means you could buy for multiple family members this Christmas and just get that Christmas shopping out of the way. trueclassic.com/chatsports. Get up to 60% off. Check the comments, check the description. That link is going to be in there. Now, let me be clear. Final thoughts on Shaq Leonard. Not only should the Bears not claim Shaq Leonard, that would be insane to take on that contract. They shouldn't sign him either. You're full at linebacker. You already overspent at that position. If they go get Shaq Leonard, I think that's a bad sign. You know why? Because that tells me Matt Eberflus is still heavily involved and has major say. Like, I think if it were solely up to Matt Eberflus, he would sign Shaq Leonard and say, I don't care about that our linebacker room was full. I love this guy. I know he can play in my defense. You can't do that if you're Ryan Poles. Look, man, you tell Matt Eberflus, we paid TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. You have Jack Sanborn. You're not getting Darius Leonard. So I'm not signing Darius Shaq Leonard. I don't think it makes sense. And quite frankly, it doesn't make sense for him either. He needs to go sign with a contender and try to get on for a playoff push. Okay, we shift from a current decision to a potential big future one, and that is, of course, what the Bears are going to do in the NFL draft. Right now, they have the number one pick thanks to the Carolina Panthers, and ESPN released their latest mock draft, and they have the Bears selecting Caleb Williams, the USC quarterback, number one overall. We've obviously talked about Caleb Williams and Drake Maye quite a bit, along with Marvin Harrison Jr., in terms of what are the Bears going to do? What is Ryan Poles' decision going to be when it comes to Justin Fields in that quarterback position, especially if the Bears do end up with a top two pick, or dare I say the number one pick for a second straight year. Now, something that concerns me with Caleb Williams is 32 career fumbles in 3 seasons. Now, he didn't lose all those, but that's a lot of fumbles, and that's a sign of holding the ball too long, trying to do too much at times, which I think at times we do see with Justin Fields. They're different quarterbacks, but some of the similarities are there between these two prospects. Now, I like Caleb Williams' game a lot. I think he's going to be a good pro, but with him and Drake Maye, it's definitely a back and forth debate. Certain scouts like Williams more. Few have started to shift more toward Drake Maye, like a Dane Brugler, of course. And, if you're the Bears, you have to still consider where Justin Fields fits in all this. How does he play over the final 6 games? Ryan Poles has a big decision to make here in the next couple of months. Now, first things first, it's got to largely depend on where the Bears finish in the draft. I mean, if Carolina gets hot down the stretch, wins a couple of games, it may be taken out of their hands. But if the Bears get the number 1 pick, which they're the betting favorites to do so right now, it's going to be tough, I think, for Ryan Poles to not draft one of these quarterbacks. Now, there was a recent report from Ian Rappaport that said Poles must be, quote, blown away to draft a quarterback. That was the same phrase he used last year when talking about if he would trade Fields and draft a quarterback. Now, I think with it being a year later, he would be more open to the idea of doing it just for the fact that he didn't draft Fields. And if he thinks there's inconsistencies there, then he might want to reset the quarterback clock. But it's going to be fascinating, man. I mean, for the second straight year, the Bears are going to be front and center this offseason. What do they do with that top selection if they get it? Is Justin Fields going to be on the trading block? Can Justin Fields, over these final 6 games, prove to Ryan Poles that, hey, I can be this team's quarterback? I thought it was a good start in Detroit on Sunday. Flus in the defense and Getsy to an extent let him down the stretch. But I thought he put out a good effort, and he's got 6 more opportunities to play at a high level. So we'll see if he's able to do that starting in Minnesota on Monday. But the Caleb Williams, the Drake Maye buzz, it's going to be there until the Bears make a concrete decision, because even if Fields balls out the rest of the way, until Ryan Poles trades the pick or does something like that, that possibility is going to exist. Fill in the blank. The Chicago Bears 2024 Week 1 starting quarterback will be blank. Who do you guys think it'll be? Drop a name down in the comments. Quick news as we sign off. This came through the waiver wire late on Tuesday, excuse me. The Bears are signing safety Adrian Colbert to the practice squad. He's been here before. Just a depth body there. They cut quarterback Trace McSorley in the move, with Fields now back healthy. You got Fields, Nathan Peterman, and of course Tyson Bagent. So no need for Trace McSorley. They bring back Adrian Colbert. All right, that's it for today's Chicago Bears Now episode. If you want more Bears news and rumors on a daily basis, subscribe. We're on the road to 80,000 subscribers. Help us out by hitting that sub button.